Yo, welcome to another episode of EmpireJeffTV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Wednesday night, live from Los Angeles, California, on Roki Day, Roki Sasaki Day, Mr. Roki of the Year in the city of Los Angeles, as he got introduced to the LA media earlier today at Dodger Stadium. Talk a lot about that today. Him and his agent kind of dispelled, the rumors of the Dodgers were the pick from the get-go, and kind of gave his reasons as to choosing the Dodgers, and a lot of backstories of what happened, where they met, everything that went down, players involved, and kind of the Dodgers approach for a while here. And we've talked about it at length over previous shows about the groundwork and the foundation that the Dodgers have been putting in Japan to establish these roads to Los Angeles from Japan, with Ohtani, Yamamoto, now Sasaki. You've had guys for a long time coming from the international level to Dodger Stadium to pitch. They've been building that brand, and now it's time to paint Japan Dodger blue, man. And the Dodgers, look, and this is the first show I've done since the Kirby Yates stuff broke out. Like, I had no idea that was coming. Like, no idea. I thought Kirby was going to be the backup if they didn't get Tanner Scott. I had no idea that he was going to be gotten along with Tanner Scott. That's insanity. That's crazy. That's just Friedman just going for the jugular, just getting crazy. Just the checkbook, the pages don't end. Like, it's just non-stop. So once again, I keep saying this, but shout out to the Dodger organization. Shout out to Andrew Friedman. Shout out to Guggenheim. Shout out to everyone, man. But the path to Roki Sasaki is something I want to touch on for a little bit here before I get to some of your chats, and go from there. The path to Roki Sasaki started a long time ago. They've been watching him since he was 17 years old. Stan Kasten said today that this has been 6 years in the making. They went there, watched him pitch in high school. They've been going out every year since, sometimes multiple times a year. And it's not always about meeting with him or talking with him. It's just to kind of like they did with Blake Snell, just to send signals that they're interested, that they're still interested. They've always been interested. They were the first ones there. They were the last ones to meet with them, and they got him. And if you listen to what Ha-Seong Kim said when he signed with the Dodgers, and they asked why the Dodgers, and he said, because they're the Dodgers, right? And that was part of it. And he was saying that they were the first one basically to check in on him. They were, on him from the get-go and stayed there the entire way. That matters to these guys. Some of these guys don't necessarily love those who join in late once the name becomes a household name. The Dodgers have believed in a lot of these prospects for years, a long time before any other team did. So whether this Kirby Yates thing becomes official or something happens with the physical, because I don't know why other teams had not got Kirby Yates yet. Like for what was out there, and I don't even know what the deal for the Dodgers is going to be. But sitting here on January 21st, which was yesterday, when that news kind of came out, and it's like no one really seemed to be going crazy after him. And maybe it's something physically. And the Dodgers are probably like, we don't care. We can take that on, because if we have Kopech out for a month, or we've got guys, we'll take a guy that maybe has something wrong and we'll wait it out. We're just going to add depth as long as we have everything come October. That may be their approach. And like I said, it hasn't been announced yet, really, because there's nowhere to put him. Tanner Scott hasn't been officially announced yet, because there's, they've got roster situations here to sort out. And I think that that's what they're working on. The last video, I told you guys that these things could stretch out and just wait until they have some flexibility. Maybe wait on a trade or something happens. Like I said, I think Kike and Kershaw will be closer to right when we get to spring training. But Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates, if Tanner Scott is in the bag, but Kirby Yates, if he pending physical, he passes that could be something that waits another 7 to 10 days to become official, as they look to make some moves to free up some roster spots here. So just in a continuously insane run of a post and then off season for the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. But so the Roki situation was the Dodgers, like I said, went back there to check on him as far back as 2019. They checked in every year, multiple times since, and he spoke on why he came to the Dodgers, and they talked about the homework that was given to each team. They talked about, the conversations and the things that each team had. He didn't meet with the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. He didn't meet at a restaurant. He met at one of the minority owners' houses, and just kind of wined and dined him with an executive sushi chef. And he was chilling on the couch with Ohtani and Yamamoto, two of his countrymen in Los Angeles, and with Friedman, the team that has chased him forever, got two of his WBC championship teammates. In the end, it was just going to be too much to pass up. And I think that the Roki was one of the first guys that the Dodgers had sights on. Ohtani, obviously, they did, but they had sights on Roki since he was 17 years old. And what they did when they got Ohtani, when they got Yamamoto, when they did all this, a lot of this was also within the mind of getting Roki Sasaki. He was part of their board of what they wanted to build out, bringing over players from Japan. So this was something that they have been locked in on for years. Everyone knows they really tried to get Ohtani the first time. Fortunately, there was no DH in the NL at the time, or they probably would have had him then. And then we know that, they were going crazy straight out the gate after Yamamoto, and they've been heavy in on Roki Sasaki for years. And there's more. They're in on a bunch of other Japanese players that they've been there early to see and check in on. And we may sit here at some point where we gets up to 6, 7, 8, 9 Japanese players on this team, because the Dodgers are becoming Japanese team. And if they continue to be the prospects that are better than any AAA prospect out there, for the most part, the teams are mostly better than AAA ball clubs, and you get to pluck that talent like that. And while it's being developed over there, I mean, it's just crazy, right? It's crazy. And Yamamoto came over as a free agent. He's on the 40-man roster. But Roki Sasaki, who, by the way, was labeled today the #1 prospect in baseball, which is kind of, I like the fact the Dodgers have the #1 prospect, but I don't know if you're going to label him a prospect, right? He's going to be in the big leagues out the gate, and but he's a prospect until he's not. So the Dodgers farm system is still elite. They're still positioned to make big trades if they need to. And the signings of Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and now Roki Sasaki, put them in play for top-tier star Japanese players for years to come. And this is exactly what the Dodgers have been building. So, like I said, this is years in the making. This was not overnight success. And Roki talked about wanting to come here because of the stability of the organization and their front office. Now, a lot of people are taking that as a shot towards the Padres, but it's really not. You can speak highly of one without throwing shade at another. He can speak on how high he holds the Dodgers organization in regard. That does not mean he's bashing anyone else. There's a lot of people that feel that way. That's why the Dodgers are getting almost everyone under the sun, is because they see how this organization operates. They see how they treat their players. And I found it interesting that when they did the video for Roki, not only did they have the players that were there talking about it, but they presented videos from other players discussing what it's like to be a Dodger, what their families say it's like to be a Dodger. And I think that is really hitting home with a lot of these players, especially the international players who come over here without a bunch of family. They're in a new country, a new league, and you've got these guys in the Dodgers who really cater to them from a perspective of making them feel comfortable, making them feel at home, just endless resources to what they need to transition. And when you hear from Ohtani, who probably told them what it was like to play for the Angels, play for an organization outside of the Dodgers, and then what it's like to play for them. And Yamamoto probably saying the same thing, right? And then you have his agent who has multiple Dodger players on his agency roster, probably also telling him what it's like to deal with the Dodgers professionally. So you got recommendations on both sides of the line here. The players, you got an agent, you've got all kinds of feedback from important people here to make your decision. And that's why for me, it was always a no-brainer, and it made the most sense for him to do it. It just never made sense for him to go anywhere else, just like it never made sense that Ohtani was going to go anywhere else, and it never made sense that Yamamoto was going to go anywhere else. And now we got them all. They're not done, and obviously they've added a bunch of other guys too. And he's got his dudes here. He's got his crew here. He's got his countrymen here. He's got his 1 second. And he's got everything he could possibly need to survive in the big leagues, thrive in the big leagues, and win multiple World Series championships and potentially multiple Cy Young awards. It'll be something if we got Roki and Yamamoto dueling for Cy Young awards while members of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we talk about all the things that we have from the hitting perspective and the bullpen and all this stuff, but having Roki and Yamamoto for potentially the next 5 to 10 years minimum each, well, 6 for Roki, it's still not fully setting into me yet. It still hasn't fully set it. It's still hard to kind of believe that we got Shohei, even though I knew it was coming. It just feels like a dream that we have this much talent, this much greatness, and an organization is smart enough to plan this stuff out 6, 7, 8 years in a row ahead and still have more in the pipeline. And they're going to get more position players, not just pitchers from Japan. We've got guys coming over next year and multiple years after that. I think the guy's name is Murakami, right? The guy that's going to be a third baseman in the offseason where the Dodgers are going to need a third baseman. So it's the flag is just set there. And I think that's why it was so important for the Dodgers to have Roki Sasaki on their roster before they go play these 2 games in Japan. So they can see, their countrymen who are still out there can see what it's like to come back home wearing the Dodger blue, pitching for your home country, and seeing the energy behind that. And it's going to be crazy, man. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Once again, I am Empire Jeff. This is EmpireJeffTV. We are talking all things Dodgers tonight. We are talking the introductory press conference of Roki Sasaki, the potential signing of Kirby Yates, the signing of Tanner Scott, and everything else that the Dodgers did this offseason. It is going to be a very, very fun spring training, a very, very fun season, and we are in position to handle injuries. We are in position to handle almost anything that comes our way because the depth is absolutely stacked. The deck is absolutely stacked, and these Dodgers are built for now and tomorrow, and they already won last year, right? So this is set. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my energy up. I'm a little tired today, man. It's been a long day, but wasn't able to do shows the last 2 nights, so definitely wanted to pull up tonight. It's been a long week, even though it's only 3 days in. but wanted to pull up and talk with you guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in here on a Wednesday night. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this Kirby Yates is going to become official? Do you think maybe other teams were kind of passing up on him because of a physical issue? And that's kind of what happened last year. It's pretty much how the Dodgers ended up with Jack Flaherty, was that he was pretty much a done deal to be a Yankee, and the Yankees had some concerns over his back. They decided to go against it. They got away from it, and the Dodgers ended up getting him. So teams may have some concerns when it comes to Kirby Yates, and maybe that's why he hasn't signed yet. And the Dodgers, the rumor is pending a physical, waiting it out to see what happens with that. But I think the Dodgers are like, look, if you're something wrong with you, maybe like Kopech's going to miss the first month. I think the Dodgers are fine taking broken parts. Like, if we can get you on the low or get you for less, I don't know what the dollar terms are. I haven't heard that yet. But if we can get you on the low and have you ready come October, then say less. We'll make it happen. We'll figure the rest out. You get someone like Kirby Yates, who's a low end 1 ERA and was top 10 in Cy Young voting. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy. So everything about this Dodger offseason is crazy. Just when you thought that last offseason could not be topped, could not be matched. Obviously, they got Shohei, Yamamoto, Teo. They had a Glass now. Phenomenal offseason last year. And because, they say who gets the best player in the trade wins the trade. So being that you got Ohtani in last year's offseason, it's hard to call this offseason better because last year they got Ohtani. But man, this would be a top off season of all time for any other franchise that did not sign a Shohei Ohtani. And me and Joe, he's probably in here. Me and Joe were talking about this might be the best off season of any sport that we've seen since the year that Jerry West got Kobe, Shaq, Fish. He got Robert Horry a couple months after that, but he literally built very, very key components to that multiple championship three-peat team in one summer. And the Dodgers, what they did this winter, fall and winter, is just, I struggle to find the words other than insanity. I struggle to find the words of describing how crazy this is, what they've pulled off. It's PlayStation in cheat mode. Like, I don't even play video games. I don't know what they call it. But when you turn off like the trade restrictions or rookie mode, whatever it is. I don't know. It's probably been 20 years since I played a video game. But I know they had, little features like that where you could turn off, trade restrictions in Madden or something. You could just build the team, whatever the hell you wanted. And that's kind of what the Dodgers have done here. And this just doesn't happen in real life sport events and franchises and organizations and leagues. This just doesn't happen like this. And I hear a lot of people talking about, the salary cap and the floor and 2026 and a labor stoppage, work stoppage. And I keep telling you guys, I've yet to hear one single owner complain. None. Yet to hear one single owner complain. And you know why? The Dodgers are number one in attendance in the league, which other teams love because that leads to more revenue sharing. Their merch is off the chain, everything, their TV deals, everything just insane, right? But not only are they the number one draw at home, they're the number one draw on the road. They sell out other stadiums. So not only is there home revenue of drawing over 4 million people, providing money for other organizations, but when they go into their ballparks, they're also selling their ballparks out simply because they're there. And those ballparks are starting to get smart. And what they're doing, they're starting to stock Dodger gear at their ballpark. Like, did you see that Cincinnati game series last year where they just had a whole store with just nothing but De La Cruz and Ohtani items, essentially? like it was bunches and bunches of Dodger gear, Dodger jerseys, Dodger shirts, hoodies, hats, Dodger bats. Like it looked like one of the Dodger stores at Dodger Stadium. Like, I've never seen that at another arena, at another stadium. I've never seen that before. I've never have. So the fact that other teams, like he's trying to crash a show again, the fact that other teams are going to start doing that because the word on the street was Cincinnati had a phenomenal weekend in sales that weekend. And then post that series, this was early on in the season last year. After that series, teams started to pick up on that and started doing it. But I think this season, you're going to see every team do it. I think you're going to have one or two stores at each stadium completely dedicated to Dodger gear when they're in town. And that's just more money for other teams. And this is why you don't hear owners complaining about it because they're going to be printing money off of this. And believe it or not, most of these billionaire owners in baseball don't care about competing. They care about running a business. It's their business. They want to make money. A lot of these billionaires have a bunch of other businesses, and this is just another one of them. They don't necessarily go all in or care for winning. Or you got those who kind of overspend their needs, right? Or their means, like the Padres, who were committed to winning, it seemed, but they just didn't have the pockets. So they went and just spent and spent and spent and spent. And now they can't really pay all these guys. They're going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to trade Dylan Cease. Michael King is in arbitration. You know, you've got horrible contracts in Bogarts. You've got a really, really bad back end deals in Machado and Darvish. That Fernando Tatis Jr. actually contract looks like a good one because they got him to sign on the low early. They kind of took advantage of him there, like the Braves do with their guys. But you know, it was guaranteed money then. He took it, and they've got that contract is probably going to age out well as long as he doesn't get caught cheating again. But you got the Bogarts, you got the Manny, you got the Darvish deal, you've got the Cronenworth deal isn't long term, but it's a bad one. You got a lot of bad deals there. Probably not bringing back Profar. Like I said, Solano. You know, you probably have to trade a Rise. Like I said, King, Cease. You got Musgrove out for an entire year again. So Roki not choosing the Dodgers, excuse me, not choosing the Padres really leveled them and kind of destroyed any chance they had at holding on to the rope for the future. Now, can they still win games that next year and be competitive? Well, that remains to be seen. Is Rise going to be on this team? Is Dylan Cease going to be on this team? Who do they get for these guys? Do they just get prospects? Then do they try to flip those prospects for someone else later? Like, who knows? Like, it would be the most Padre thing to do to go move these guys for prospects, stack up all these prospects, and then just move them for another rental, like a Vlad Jr., right? A guy you're not going to be able to sign, and then have to move him at the trade deadline or lose him for nothing just to compete this year. Like, the Padres have no long-term plan. Pay everyone the max you can to get them to choose you, get them to come here. And when you look at someone like a Aaron Judge or a Trey Turner, who the Padres offered them more money than anyone in their free agency periods. And the reason those guys didn't choose them is because they didn't believe in the long-term fit. They didn't believe in the long-term plan. They saw a lot of those bad contracts. They saw them signing the same, multiple shortstops. It just didn't make sense for longevity. Now, could have they potentially snuck out a World Series during that 2-3 year run? They could have. They almost could have this year if the Dodgers didn't wake up halfway through that series. But it didn't work. And the Bryce Harpers, the Trey Turners, the Aaron Judges, these guys saw that and chose to go elsewhere. And Roki Sasaki again this year saw that and chose to go to the Dodgers. So it's one of those things where you try to compete with those in your division. You try to compete with the Dodgers. You try to really create that rivalry, but this wasn't going to be something that could go long term. It was going to be a quick hitter. The Padres are probably like, look, let's try to Texas Ranger it. Let's try to get this chip and then sell off. We got it. Let's say we did it and sell off. And then when they didn't get it in 2022 and then fell apart in 2023 and didn't make the playoffs, and this last year of all had to be probably the biggest gut punch, the way their season ended, and then the Roki situation, it's just like at some point you're like, it's over. It's over. So that's why Rise, Cease, potentially King. A lot of these guys may be out of there. But anyway, this is a long time talking about the Padres, but I think it's important because it just shows the greatness of the Dodgers organization, the way that they're able to sustain this and the way that they've built this, and they did the groundwork and they laid the foundation for this 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 years ago with Shohei the first time. And it comes back to the Padres situation of players didn't believe in them simply because they don't believe in the long-term future of the team, whereas everyone is picking the Dodgers mainly because they're completely bought in to the future of their team and their organization and their franchise. So that's why I'm kind of bringing this up so much. So appreciate you guys again for tuning in. If you guys have not done so already, please drop a like on the video. 18 likes on the video right now. We got 90 people in the building. Come on, y'all. That's way too low. Help me out here. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Shout out to everyone over on Twitter X as well. Rocking heavy over there. 70 people on Twitter X. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to like the post, repost the post if you have not done so already. You can also become a member to the channel. You can click that join button, or the first link in the description helps you become a member for less than the cost of lunch. You could become a member for an entire month. And let me see here. We also got to talk about you getting your MLB, NBA, and NFL gear and more. Make sure to use our Fanatics links to get special discounts, and your purchase also helps support the channel. We've partnered with the good people at Fanatics, so when you purchase through them via us, they make sure to take care of us because we sent you their way. A lot of good gear. Still got a lot of Dodger championship gear. Feel like I'm ordering something every week from them. Shout out to everyone who's already placed orders. You are greatly appreciated. So I'm starting to get into some of your chats here, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Every day we get closer to spring training, which means we get closer to the regular season, and we get closer to Dodger baseball, man. Can't wait for this. Lewis, what's going on, my guy? What's good, my big brother Jeff? Let's go Dodgers. You gotta believe. Absolutely. Get the likes up and subscribe to the channel. If you are new, tell a friend or a family member about the channel. Become a member of the channel. Dodgers win it all again. Absolutely. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Joseph? It has begun. It has begun. Indeed. Indeed. Don't care what's going on, man. Go Dodgers. How we making room for Yates and Kike? Who we trading? Kike is going to be closer to spring training when they can put guys on the injured list, disabled list, injured reserve, whatever the hell you want to call it. They may have to DFA some guys or trade some guys. Outman, CT3 potentially. There's guys that are going to be on the move. I was sitting thinking like, I don't see them DFAing CT3, and I was thinking they may have actually been planning on keeping him. But the Yates deal, it's just I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. They may just stash guys when they get those extra roster spots, the guys that aren't going to play in spring training, and then look to figure it out closer to the regular season. Maybe they trade some guys. Brazier's on that list as well. There's a lot of talk about them potentially moving him. So there's plenty of things they could do, but I still think Kershaw and Kike are coming back. I thought that even before the rumor of Kirby Yates. I still think that now. Pay Kershaw $10 million just to retire and watch from home. Nah, man, come on, man. We live, absolutely. Kershaw should retire and be the bench coach. I think once he retires, I think he's just gone to Texas. I think he still wants to be part of the team. He's not going to pitch in the playoffs. I don't see what the point is. I don't think he's going to pitch in the playoffs, and I don't think he's going to pitch a little bit in July, and then there'll be an injury and he won't be able to finish the season, right? But I think it's just the Dodgers of continuing him to let him pitch as long as he wants to, and letting him be part of this team and kind of be that vet over there as well. But also, all those years when he held it down for them, when they didn't have all these other superstars, or didn't have necessarily all these abilities to do this. I think they're just riding it out with him. I don't see a problem with it. Kershaw will pitch into his 40s like Scherzer and Verlander. I don't know if he'll do that. What's going on, Craig? I know, but he isn't pitching the playoffs with the pitchers now. Yeah, I agree. What's going on, Search? Appreciate you, big brother. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone's shouting out, Search. That's it. That's what's up. What's going on, Roy? Talking to someone else. Let me mind my business. Let's see. What's going on, Samuel? Greetings from Tijuana, Jeff. Ready to hear from you. What's next for our Dodgers? Maybe a trade for Robert Jr. Want to see these San Diego morons cry. Yeah, you know what? I'd all but given up on that. But the Kirby Yates thing, just every time I think the Dodgers are putting the bow on it. Now, again, those who have watched the show know that I strongly believed and had pretty good intel that Tanner Scott was coming. I believe that was in our midst, really. Kirby Yates, I did not. I legitimately thought that was a backup plan for Tanner Scott. When I was doing that show, I think I was doing a show with Joe on Thursday. Was it Thursday? And I got a text, and it said that they were stepping up their efforts on Tanner Scott. And if not, they had two other moves pending that they could essentially pivot to. One was a signing, one was a trade. I don't have clarification on who the trade was for, but I knew that Kirby Yates' name was the free agent. However, I was kind of the understanding that it was in lieu of Tanner Scott, not in addition to. So I did not have that. I had that they were talking to him. They were further enough along to where they could get him if it didn't work out with Tanner Scott. Did not imagine that they were getting both, if that still ends up to be the case. And it's just crazy. But shout out to Tijuana, TJ Style Tacos. Appreciate you for tuning in, my guy. Roki of the year, absolutely. LA for Life says, let's go. We got Roki officially. What's going on? What's going on, LA for Life? Facts, man. Facts. Nando says, Roki a little awkward. Get my guy a drink. He's young. A lot of guys don't usually come over this young from Japan, man. So it's going to take some work. What's going on, BC? It's going to take some work. How many World Series this team is winning? Well, they got one. I've got them winning at least 4. So I got them winning at least 3 more as currently constructed. That's what I feel. One Peruvian guy said, human bot, search and destroy. At least 4 more titles. Yeah, 3 or 4 I think is within reach. I think it's within reach. Roki throwing gang signs at the Laker game. Yeah, he went to the Laker game immediately, man. Immediately he went to the Laker game, man. Has Kirby Yates passed his physical? Not yet. Or maybe he did, and the Dodgers just haven't announced it yet, right? They still haven't announced Tanner Scott, so he has not signed it. They announced Roki today. They do have 1 slot left, so let's see which one they announce first, and they got to make some other moves, or maybe there's another move to be made. There's going to be a trade. They're going to announce all this at once, so we'll have to wait and see on how that goes. Did Hae-Sung Kim ever get a press conference? He did. Again, I think people forgot we got him. I've even kind of forgot that we got him, man. Let's see. LA Times 310. What's going on, man? LFG LA. Love the Japanese culture in the stadium already. Last year, made friends with a couple that flew all the way from Japan. So did I. So when I tell you, I get the Dodger games early. Right? I get up there early. I watch BP, man. No, when I can. Like most of the games I got there early last year. And when I tell you the amount of the sorry, like he's going crazy. I think he sees a cat in the backyard. When I tell you the amount of Japanese players that get there, and one game I was there, and Ohtani was doing a bullpen session because we were there really early, and he was doing a bullpen session. And there was, when I tell you the amount of Japanese fans and tourists that were there surrounding the bullpen area and crying, simply watching Shohei throw a bullpen session. Like, it was such an honor for them just to be in his space that they were crying. And I couldn't even take out my phone and capture it because I was like just amazed at the moment. And, when you think about the impact that Shohei has had in Japan, like, they're putting him in the textbooks, in the school systems. They're using him to teach like math. Like, they're using him to teach history. His name is in textbooks. They're using it like in mathematical equations. Like, if Shohei was up to bat this amount of times, got this amount of hits and this amount of outs, like, they're using his name in their education culture. That is how big he is. And he's ours, right? So even if Shohei plays till 45 and isn't putting up numbers like that, but his impact and his reach, like the Dodgers have to give him like a lifetime deal to be part of the organization when he's done. Right? Like, just keep him attached, because I'm telling you, he is culturally linked to the Japan system essentially for life. And the bulk of his career will be with the Dodgers. He will go into the Hall of Fame wearing a Los Angeles Dodger hat. And that Japanese culture is pretty much the Dodgers as well, as long as they want it. Everyone that they go hard after, they're probably going to get. Now, they're not going to be able to go after every single one of them. And it remains to be seen which one of them ever tell them no. But they're going to have that market cornered as long as they want to be in it for the most part. And it's just craziness, man. What's going on, Mr. Classic? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. We got Matty Man 5 Dodge. For being honest, Yates is better pitcher than Kopech. Not as exciting, but more reliable. He's more under control. I think Kopech brings something to the table that the Dodgers don't have out the bullpen. But Yates, very similar to Tanner Scott, the hard hit rate, the low walks. Guys just don't hit him hard, don't hit home runs off him. He doesn't just give away bases. Kopech can be wild, but he's got tremendous swing and miss stuff. So the contrast of it, the differences of them is what makes it special. So some go a little higher in the zone, some go lower, some have, more of a chase stuff, some have more of the finesse if you want to call it that, the breaking stuff. Like you got the stuff that Trinan can throw, and then you got the stuff that Kopech can throw. Like if you're a hitter, like my God, you're not going to see these guys like twice maybe in a series. Like it's going to be absolutely lights out. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Let's see. Search has another fire near Magic Mountain I heard about. Yeah, man. So the Lake Hughes fire, this one is closer to me than the other ones were. Well, the Sylmar fire was close to me, but this one is up the freeway from me. Like it's this one's a lot closer. Now it's not going to get me. It's not going to get my area. Again, we're too inland. But this one's gonna be real. It's gonna affect a lot of stuff around us. So, it was supposed to be like 80 degrees today, in January with the winds, and this is just, what happens when the temperature is anywhere, in the high 70s and up with the winds getting crazy. Unfortunately, we go into fire alert, man, and we've had enough already, man. We need rain. We need rain in the worst way, and there's supposed to be some this weekend, maybe. But we haven't had rain, y'all. Like there are people who have gotten pregnant and had a baby since we've had rain. Like think about that. And just think about that. 9 months, more than 9 months now since we've had rain in LA. Nuts. Brazier, Grove, Outman, Taylor for Arenado and Helsley. Oh man. Yo, if they you know what, Nando? Because you laid out like that, I think because it's Helsley, they'd want, a pretty decent prospect in that. But if they do a move like that, they could. They could do a move like that. And just saying it out loud again and adding, I know a lot of people aren't necessarily high on Arenado, but they are on Helsley. Adding an Arenado to this team, replacing Taylor to play third or first, and adding a Helsley to what you've already added. I mean, that is just, I don't have words for this. Luis Robert Jr., like, again, I didn't think Kirby Yates was even remotely possible. The fact that they're rumored to have gotten him, everything's on the board. Everything's in play. Everything. Literally everything. And that is just I can't get past it, man. I can't get past it. We got our hold on, I see one. Hold on, there we go. We got my guy Cuba in the building. He put the Dodger logo, man. Shout out to Cuba with the $2 super chat. Look at that logo, Jeff, man. Yeah, Cuba, man. Appreciate you, brother. Every time Cuba pulls up, he got another logo, but I'm happy to see it's a Dodger one. You pulled up with a Celtic one time. Didn't appreciate that, but I appreciate the Dodger one. I saw you had the Chiefs one. But this one looks good. This one looks good on the screen. It goes with the vibes, man. It goes with the vibes. Appreciate you. But it is see if I can find my way back here. No way I'm still that far down. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've kind of learned my lesson how to get back now. There we go. Roy says Dodgers should have a parade in Tokyo. That would be lit. You think Dodgers fans showed up? Japanese Dodger fans will triple the credit. Yo, that's a great idea. Like a welcoming parade / victory parade when they get to Japan. I'm sure the Cubs probably wouldn't love that. The Dodgers milking it like that. But hey, the Cubs are going to make, get all this attention based off that because the Dodgers and their players. I never thought of that. That'd be a crazy one. Brazier, Grove, Outman, Taylor for Arenado and Helsley. Man, that would just be, that'd be crazy. Rojas, number 11, gave up his number. He did. That's right. New rule. The Dodgers are going to have to pay tax on that as well. All that stuff that Soto got, the suite, the jerseys, like all that extra stuff that goes towards players that now goes in towards tax. It's crazy. I don't see that happening. 3 teams, like a lot already. Let's see. A parade in Japan would be crazy. Joe says Dodgers are building their Yakuza gang like the Red Wings built with the Red Army in the late 90s when they won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Yeah, man. I've never seen anything like this for one of my teams like this. Not to this level. Not to this level because the Lakers didn't have the money like that when they were stacking all those chips. They just had dominance in Shaq and Kobe and they were able to fill in around them. What the Dodgers are doing, it's just crazy. Mr. Classic says, if Dodgers keep getting Japanese players over every other team, MLB going to keep on the pressure to investigate. I mean, they can, but it doesn't matter. Like he flat out came and said, here's the thing. Like if you can't punish a team for being early on a guy. You can't punish the Dodgers who showed up to see Roki at 17 when other teams didn't. You can't punish the Dodgers who showed up to visit with him when he was in 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Like, you can't punish them for spending their money and investing their own money, private jets to Japan, going out there, checking in on him, putting in the work. You can't punish a team for investing in their product. So there's nothing to punish them on. They didn't do anything wrong but show up and show interest and show love. So in the end, like I said, his son Kim said, because they're the Dodgers and they were the first ones in on me. They didn't just come along late when other teams were in on me. They were on me before I was anything. And that means something to these players. And the Dodgers, again, have set the groundwork on that. Now, you're going to start to see teams trying to get in on guys early, but they're going to get on guys they're going to be wrong on. Watch. They're going to go, and the guys aren't going to be what they thought they are. And they're going to be like, we wasted 2 or 3 years on this guy. We're not doing this anymore. And the Dodgers are going to just continue to do it. And it's going to continue to work for them because the other teams are going to try it once, it not work for them and quit. Right? The Dodgers aren't going to do that. What's going on, DJ? Salute to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. My guy, DJ from Lakers in 5. Go subscribe to Lakers in 5. Drop a like on their channel. Go subscribe to their channel. DJ does Laker content every single day with him and the crew over there. Great work over there, DJ. If you are working tonight, drive safe, my brother. Hope you are doing well. You and the family, man. They can investigate all they want. It's not wrong. Not wrongdoing is being done. You're wasting money and time. Yep. If no wrongdoing is being, yep. Scrutiny will be tighter. I mean, we don't really care about the scrutiny. Like I said, if you want to compete, show up. They got to go show up. What's going on, Xbox? They may want revenge for the World War II at one point. Oh, man. Trades coming soon. Be ready for surprises. Yeah, I wouldn't really be surprised. I think this Dodger team, one thing, I take my own advice when I've been telling you guys this. And what I've been telling you guys is we have to change our thinking because that Shohei deferred money has changed the way the Dodgers do business. So anything that they've done in the past, we have to change our train of thought. They're not operating like that anymore. They're doing everything within their power that they can to make this happen. And they're not going to act like the Dodgers of old. They're not the Dodger team that didn't invest heavily in bullpen guys. They're not the Dodgers of old who didn't go all in on a rotation. They're not the Dodgers of old who wouldn't get into bidding wars. They're not the Dodgers of old. Like, they're just not. And Shohei's $680 million in deferred money, which is what 97% of that contract, changes everything. It changes everything. And they had to commit to that when Shohei, presented that. They had to commit. I'm going to do this, but I want you to be uber aggressive every single offseason. I want to get guys. And as guys age out, I want there to be guys to replace them. I want guys lined up. Go get a Roki Sasaki. Go get these young kids. Build them up. So when I'm 35, I have these young guns to help carry me through a season. And I hopefully at that point can still be able to bring you home, right? So this has all been planned out. This has all been worked out. This has all been discussed year over year. This has been the plan. This has absolutely been the plan. And the Dodgers are executing it to perfection. And again, shout out to them. Murakami coming next. Very possible. Very, very, very possible. What's going on, Ran? Watch out for Takahashi in 2 years. Watch out for them all, man. All of them. Murakami is a strikeout machine in a league where they don't strike out much. No, I get it, because he's out there just clubbing and swinging away. But when you get in, to the Dodger, think tank and the hit tank and their organization, the Dodgers could probably turn a lot of that around. So I don't worry about what a lot of guys do outside of the Dodgers, right? If you didn't want guys that struck out, you wouldn't get Teo, and everybody loved and wanted Teo back, right? So these guys, strikeouts are part of the game now. Feast or famine guys are part of the game now. Strikeout, walks, home runs. Like, if you got guys that can do that, you need 1 or 2 of those guys on the team. You want some guys that can hit for average. You want some guys who have speed. You want some guys who hit for contact. You want that balance. You're not going to have everybody who's a contact guy every single time. You want that guy who can lunge one and launch one into the seats at a consistent rate and get some walks. They'll have to work that into them. But like I said, a lot of these guys weren't like that before they came to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers can do some work on that. This I am convinced of, for sure. Does Murakami play defense? Well, I mean, I don't believe I've ever heard anything about him being a gold glover, like potential gold glover. But again, this is all stuff that can be worked on and improved. Yeah, I've never heard anything like high praise for him. He can't strike out more than McMuncy. No, but if he could walk as much as Muncy does, that would be very, very, very beneficial. When do single day tickets go on sale? This is gonna sound funny, but I got a text from the Dodgers because I've got I've had season tickets with them before or semi, so I've been alerted I'm able to kind of get tickets before the general public as a result. So I've been alerted that it's coming soon. So soon. Let's see. Dodgers going to be big for you this season, bro. I still know nothing. They're going to be big for a lot of us, man. It's going to save the city from all the stuff we have to deal with other teams, man. Nando, go to Vivid Seats. Yeah, you can already get some on the secondary markets for sure. What's going on, Kane Carter? Why do all international baseball players need translators, even if they have been in the country for a long period of time? It's never like that in the NBA. So they have translators mainly because they don't want. So it's a good question. And a lot of, I'm trying to phrase this. A lot of like the Japanese culture or the foreign, like of Asian, the Asian players, right? They have a kind of, I don't want to use the word pride, but they feel if they can't speak it fully fluently, that they don't want to do it because they don't want to end up in a clip or be mocked for their English. Like I remember seeing this one time, and I actually talked to someone at one point when the Shohei thing went down last year about translators, and they say that the Asian ball players are very more particular on what they say and don't say in front of a camera. And they don't want to be mocked for their language. They don't want to be, and then plus they want to make sure not only that, but that they thoroughly understand what's being asked. And they want to make sure that obviously if something gets misquoted, then they could just blame their interpreter. But that is, you'll also see that a lot in boxing too. You'll see that a lot in boxing. It just is part of the culture. If you come from another country, particularly, the Japanese, Korean, or any of those leagues, if majority of the time that there's going to be a translator around for a while. Hey, Jeff, did you see Mookie in Japan? I did. Don't care. I did. He's out there. He was out of school, man. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Mookie's out there being an ambassador for the game. My guy, Mookie Betts, man. What's going on, Elias? Dodgers aren't ruining baseball. They're running it. Let's freaking go, Dodgers. Facts. Craig says, I have a hat like yours, Jeff, with the big D on it. It's a dragon blue hat when I went to a game in 1984 in Osaka, Japan. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Craig's got like a lot of old school baseball and basketball stories. He's been going to games like 50 years, man. It's crazy. Blessing to have you as part of our chat, man. XOXO, what's going on? Is it true that Sasaki has 2-year clause in his contract with the Dodgers? So basically he can opt out after that, but thought that was impossible since it's no, that's not true. Jose Ayala. What's going on, man? Who else loves all the hate from the Padres and Giants fan? Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Love it. Love it. It just screams we're doing something right, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Joe says Dodgers are all but guaranteeing that they will win, not limit to the playoffs with a legit rotation. Facts. Muncy was on pace for 30 home runs last season. Yeah, if he doesn't hurt his oblique there, man, Muncy was on a heck of a tear. He had a great Mets series, man. Like I said, a lot of guys didn't have 3 great series in the playoffs, right? Muncy he played his role at his point at his time. Yeah, talking 2024 Lakers. 2004 Lakers had mental breakdown at the worst time. Dodgers will not have that with this team. Yeah, and then that team, so the 2004 Lakers was a team that had just ran its course. Like you get a team 5, 6, whatever years. Majority of those guys have been together since 96. It was an 8-year run. They started to tune out Phil. It was just burned. It was just that team had it was organizational fatigue at that point. That is a totally different situation. They'd already won 3 chips. Like this is the Dodgers just winning their first with this group collectively. So they're going to go on a pretty strong run here. So that's going to definitely be different for them for sure. Salary cap / floor will tank the ratings. Yeah, I don't see that happening. If you want MLB to become the NBA, get a salary cap and a floor. Yeah, a salary cap and the floor. You have to have both. You can't have one without the other. But it just means it's not going to work the way people think. Roy says, All-Star, you have 1 year to use your Pom-poms for Muncy. He struck out more times with runners in scoring position than I can count. He was more disappointing with runners in scoring position. His home runs were inconsequential in 24, low 200 batting average. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but Muncy was also one of those guys that his impact in the clubhouse was massive. A lot of guys, you talked about the Honeywell thing. They talked about Max Muncy getting the guys together at the clubhouse between the break during the wild card series. His role in that clubhouse and his leadership, and he's one of those guys that are kind of like the nasty guys on the team. Got a little fire in him when the overall team doesn't have a lot of that. So sign me up for keeping Max Muncy. I'm going to die on that hill for this season. NBA sucks right now. Super teams making ratings better. Still want HSK to be honest. Let's see. They sell Japanese advertising at stadiums when the Dodgers play on the road. They do. Trend range injuries off this season, says Maldonado. Yeah. I mean, it's it's like what they did in this Dodger team. It's like they just built a roster with all those modes adjusted. Okay, I'm not going to talk about basketball here. At least you brought the title. Agree about super teams. Okay, NBA. Roki said stability of the front office was a priority. Yeah. And if you looked, I mean, like Shohei, when he signed with the team, right? He wanted to make sure that it was that you had Freeman and Guggenheim still part of it. Like, no, you're not getting me in selling. And not that they would do that, they have no plans of doing so. But he locked himself into the organization. So if the organization makes a change with Friedman or they sell, he has an opt for either one of them that he could opt out of his deal. And then all of a sudden that deferred money, if he decides, okay, it's a new ownership group or a new front office, it's not necessarily that he will leave the Dodgers, but then he could opt out and then sign without deferrals, right? So he put himself in position. And so, I'm sure that like Yamamoto, I'm sure that Sasaki, thought about that, like, seeing that he has that much confidence in this front office that he would defer 97% of his money while putting himself in position to opt out of that in case they leave. That completely shows dedication to the organization. Hepatitis See You Later said ceases batting practice to LA. I hope they keep him and give him an 8-year deal. Yeah. LA has been able to get him pretty easily. See you later. 1 second here. Lucky acting a fool over here. Same with Burns. Yep. Cease's going to get traded. They have to get something for him. Yeah, he's definitely getting traded. Let me mind my business here. He's going into his last year, especially after they fleeced their own prospects to get Tanner Scott, only to lose him for nothing. Yep. That's what I'm saying. The Padres do that. They're going all in, short-sighted, and not thinking long-term. So they have to move Cease just to probably get pieces to flip for something else. But they have to. Their hope was probably that they could have flipped Cease for pieces to get Crochet because Crochet had 2 years left. So they probably figured, look, we can another year and a half out of him and just keep playing this recycled game. But eventually you're just going to run out of that because teams are figuring out, like, you're desperate for this every year. We're going to fleece the hell out of you each time that you do this. And now their game plan is completely out there. With runs in scoring position either, nobody's saying any bad about him. Let's see. Shield Sider with that lawsuit destroyed any chance of Roki. I don't think he was going there anyways, but it definitely didn't help. Preller traded a lot of his prospects for a last dance, but to give the guy credit, every year it seems like he trades his farm system. Then the next year, their farm system is somewhat replenished. It's replenished because they have to trade guys to get it. So they traded guys to get Soto, then they traded Soto for guys, right? And then they trade guys for Cease. Now they're going to trade Cease for prospecting, and they're going to continue to flip that game. Same thing with the Rise. They'll trade a Rise to get prospects because they traded prospects to get a Rise. So they just keep flipping that game. But the problem is they're getting rentals. So they're trading for guys with 2 years left on their deal. But the problem is they're not keeping them in the free agency. So you're not getting the whole 2 years out of them. You're essentially getting a rental who has 2 years left, but you're flipping them again when there's 1 year left. It's not sustainable. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. So when they got Soto, they had him for 2 years. But these guys, that they're the way they're going about it, they're trading essentially for rentals, even though they have 2 years left on their deal. So it's kind of it just doesn't really work. Roki wasn't ever going to SD, lawsuit or not. I don't believe so. What's going on, Jeffrey Garcia? This team, man, the 2017 this team Dodgers, man. God, I still have nightmares of them losing that year, man. Still sucks. Still sucks. Hepatitis See You Later says, but if those prospects that Preller drafted this past draft don't get off to a running start like years past, yeah, their farm system might be screwed. Yeah. Or maybe they have another Jackson Merrill in them, right? Maybe that happens. Who knows? Like Jackson Merrill, they absolutely hit on. And that guy's going to be a stud for a long time for them. So we'll have to wait and see. All-Star, my product's nothing wrong with you writing Muncie's. I don't see them. Here they go. Michelada Papi. What's going on, Michelada Papi? Otani's new nickname is Goat Herder. Yeah, he's herding goats for sure, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for tuning in. That's a good one. That's a good one indeed. He's like a game. Filling up my Michelada with haters' tears. Yep. And the Dodgers are paying their players with haters' tears. Somehow I keep forgetting we have Snell. Yeah, like I didn't forget we have Snell. But I do sometimes forget we got Kim. They just did so much. Like every time I go on speaking about it, there's always a name or two I leave out. And it's just nuts. To avoid injuries. Yep. Snell starts opening day in the States. I think so too. It just makes too much sense to have the two Japanese guys start in their country. Send pods to Death Valley. Wow. If Verlander is playing, Kershaw is playing. They're gonna. It's like the Star Spangled Banner Pledge of Allegiance thing, standoff thing. The Snell pitch in Japan. Yeah, I don't think he does. David, what's going on, man? No, let him get 300 strikeouts. That's what he's going for. Acting like he's CT3 or something. He might, but I'm guessing Yamo and Roki for the novelty thing. Yep, I think so too. No, thanks to Muncie. Lakers, Dodgers for life. What's going on, my guy? Kershaw is Robert's secret weapon. He's not going anywhere. That's fun. These free agency deals Friedman is making is also a way to say these kids like Jose De Paula, Zaire, Hope, and Dalton Rushing are legit, and we want to avoid the trade line if we can, if team wants them. Yeah, that's true too. That's a great point. 30 home run pace for a guy getting paid $15 million is a bargain. Yeah. Brazier is going to get cut or traded tomorrow. There's a good chance in that he gets traded. Less than 60 days to go. What's going on, Jack Greasy? Absolutely. Every day we get closer, man. Every single day we get closer. And it's just more exciting and more anticipation and just more. Can't wait. Speaking of more, man, if you haven't done so already, please drop a like on the video. Approaching 90 people in the building, only 30 likes. We got to do a little better than that. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Appreciate those who have done so already. Search has for those of you that are new, Lucky is just Beagle. Like he likes to eat cables. He likes to eat cables. He likes to jump on my lap and smack, my setup here while we're doing shows. Right now, he is trying to intimidate a cat in the backyard through our sliding glass back door. He's trying to Jedi mind trick the cat. So it's an interesting little stare down going on behind me over here. MP, what's going on, MP? My last memory of Muncie is talking smack, then going 0 for 16. Who cares what he did in the NLCS when we had Tommy? And no, it still helped, though. It still helped. Max Muncy is a saint. Dorothy Mantooth is a saint. Otani becomes part owner when he retires. I think so too. I think they owe him that. 18 straight times on base helped us win the NLCS. Yep. Good evening, MP. Appreciate you for tuning in. Roy says, then NLCS games were all blowouts. I am concerned about Yates' age. He will be 38 soon. Yeah, but that's I'm saying. That's why you're probably getting him in a limited role. You know what I mean? And that's probably why, too. He's probably looking at this like a Trinan situation. I can probably go out here and extend my career a bit, limited innings, high leverage, and see what I can do. Players going into their contract year usually play out of their minds. Yates is depth. If he makes it, it's good. If not, it's still okay. Yep. So I'm macking it daily. It rained on Christmas Eve. Did it rain on Christmas? I'm tripping then. Okay, I'm going into like leading up to that. It went like 9 months without raining, man. It went like really long. You're damn, did I forget it? Can't even remember. It didn't rain where I was on Christmas Eve. Now that I think about it, it didn't rain. It was windy as hell, but it did not rain where I was on Christmas Eve. It was just windy. Let's see. Let me mind my business. Trade for Arenado. You know what? I thought that was dead, bro. I really did. But I'm to the point where I don't know. I don't know anymore. These guys are just doing things that I didn't anticipate, and I think they're going to keep doing them. So we'll see. What's going on, Alfonso? Is the Arenado rumors legit? I don't know at this point. I thought it had some legs early in the offseason. Then I thought it died. And then, like I said, that move, the Dodgers clearly are putting a huge emphasis on having immense depth in their starting rotation and their bullpen. And with that being said, the rotation is set. With that being said, I feel like they have enough in the bullpen already. But if they trade Brazier, you got the arbitration thing going on with Vesia. But I think a thing to consider here is Vesia's arbitration. 2, Kopech is a free agent this next offseason, and he wants to go back to being a starter. So the Dodgers could be looking to start, getting guys in advance here ahead of that. He's also a Boris client. So they could be looking to try to get ahead of some of these things. So just keep that in mind. Luis Robert Jr. is much better fit for the Dodgers. He plays center field, which allowed Edman to be the everyday shortstop, and Mookie back to second permanently, which was Friedman's plan all along. I'm still not entirely convinced that Mookie is going to be the everyday shortstop. I'm not. What's going on, Rand? Everything except Mike Trout because Artie won't trade him to the Dodgers. Yeah, that won't happen. That won't happen. Kings tied it 1-1. Nice. All the Nolan haters would suddenly be number one fan if he came to LA. Hey, I agree. I am not down on Arenado because I think getting him here in this lineup rejuvenated, he could still play a very solid defense. And I think that here we would see more the 22-23 Arenado than the 24 Arenado. I do believe that. But I just don't know where he fits. You're keeping Muncy if Mookie's in the infield here. I don't know where you play him. Now, if, like I said, if they're going all in on like the whole scorched earth bullpen approach and you get Helsley and you take on Arenado because you're making that move and now he's on your bench and he's your guy that can play third if Muncy's out, he can play first if Freddie's out, then I understand that. But it's just the years after, even though there's deferrals, even though it's not too bad, there is still those extra years that I don't know if the Dodgers would do when they're doing a move with Helsley, because like if they did it just CT3 for Arenado, then St. Louis is probably paying some of that money. So it doesn't make it as bad. If you're going to pay all of Arenado's money and you don't want to give up a top prospect, you're probably going to have to pay all of his money to get Helsley. So maybe they go down that path. Again, I don't know. I don't know at this point. What's going on, Dre? Appreciate you. Salute to you as well, brother. Alfonso making an agreement here. Trade for a guy that whiffs more. Great idea. Roki number one, son. Yeah. Robert Uribe. Yes, he is number one, son, for sure. It's just scouting. Yep. Let's see. Dr. V says, I'm not trying to hear all this Dodger hate from mitter spots. We're smarter and ahead of the curve. Can't be mad at that. No, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Okay, they're having a whole separate conversation here. Dre says, they could hypothetically create an international draft, but the status quo is beneficial for the owners, especially the ones that are cheap. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Status quo is one thing, but also who says any of these Japanese players make themselves eligible for that draft or come over? Like these guys aren't going to want to go to Milwaukee. Like these Japanese guys aren't going to want to end up like in cities that have no Japanese people. Like those, like they're not really going to want to like be forced to go somewhere. And so I think that could hurt people coming over more than it actually helps it. And I just don't see the players union or the agents giving in to all these things that people are demanding, especially when I don't think you're going to see a bunch of owners pushing for it, because for reasons we spoke on early in the show, I don't think we're going to see a bunch of owners pushing for it. I just don't. Let's see. MLB will catch up soon. Roki is a tall dude. What's going on, Benjamin's son? Roki was scouted by the Dodgers in high school. He was. Barnes is untouchable. Dodger fans, don't even think about it. Yeah, Barnes will be a coach when it's done. Barnes is known within pretty much every circle of baseball that he is very important to the pitching staff, very important to the pitching coach staff. He's very important, and it's not just like, for when Kershaw was there. He is highly regarded on that team. He sits in on all the pitcher meetings. He is good with how pitchers pick their pitches. Like, he is very intricate in things other than just playing on the field. And he did not have a bad year last year. he just really didn't. Casson, Friedman, Gomes, Roberts are all short as hell too. Which of Neck, Miller, Robleski, Kasperius gets traded? Got to be a prove it year for Miller. Damn. Knack may not have a ton of value right now. Miller, even though he was terrible last year, I think teams still see his promise. Robleski and Kasperius could be very cheap and effective pieces this year. So I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say the Dodgers would probably be most willing to move Knack and probably Robleski. Probably. Juan Soto only made $3 million in endorsements compared to Shohei tons of money in endorsements. Soto can't defer. That's a fair point. Joe's doing a height check here. But once they find a big endorsement guy who defers it, will lever the playing field. Yeah, the problem is the Dodgers just keep getting them, right? The Dodgers keep getting them. Like is Vlad gonna defer big time? Is De La Cruz gonna defer big time? Is Acuna's already signed? Like, who's the guys that are coming up? Like, a lot of guys, they've been signing guys like long term. Like Gunnar Henderson probably gets extended. Bobby Witt Jr. already signed a deal. Like, I don't know who that person is going to be. Don Missio. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. My bad. I'm just gonna call you Don. I don't want to butcher your. I don't want to disrespect the pronunciation of your last name. All these signings possible because of the TV deal. Good for you guys. It'll be interesting to see what Giants do once they sign exclusivity streaming rights either through Apple TV or YouTube TV. I mean, that's a fair point. When you have a brand that commands that type of money, right? Yeah, it does give you a competitive advantage. Having said that, you still have to run the organization, right? The Mets have a ton of money, right? They got Steve Cohen out there. They have not made a lot of wise decisions, and they really haven't spent any money. Why didn't they get Tanner Scott? Why didn't they get Kirby Yates? Like, was it just Soto and that's it? Like, they're not even willing to overpay to keep Alonso. So it's also like, who's running your team, and are you getting these things done here? The Giants, for me, it remains to be seen with the Giants, because there's a narrative, and I'm calling it a narrative because I'm not saying it's true. There's a narrative that big time guys don't want to go there. And there's also a narrative, and again, I don't know if this is true, this remains to be seen, that a lot of guys may not necessarily fully believe in Posey as an executive, right? Now, I don't have a problem with him bringing in his former agent or a guy that was in the front office when he played there, because you have continuity, guys you trust, and guys who can potentially get the job done. However, there are rumblings that guys aren't really interested in seeing how that goes out the gate. There are rumblings of players really, especially top tier guys, not really wanting to play in San Francisco. Again, narratives. I'm not going to sit up here and say it's 100% true, but it's out there enough to kind of smoke there's fire thing. But I don't know for sure if that's the case. I haven't heard a player come straight out and say, I don't want to play in San Francisco. I haven't heard that, but it remains to be seen if that's true or not. But appreciate you tuning in, and that's a fair take there. Matthew Vasquez, what's going on, Matthew? What will be the Dodgers pitching rotation, and how is the fire? The fires are ongoing. There's another one burning. The Lake Hughes fire started up yesterday, basically. There was another one closer to my house, the Handsome Dam fire. That got taken care of rather quickly. There was one on the side of the road, like by I forget the restaurant. Was it an In-N-Out on the freeway? We saw they got put out rather quickly. But it was it's LA is going through it. LA is absolutely going through it. Me and my family, my immediate family, are blessed enough to be inward enough to where it's not affecting our homes. But I'll tell you this, just real quick. We all went through COVID together, and we all know someone that had COVID. Not every one of us knows someone who passed away from COVID. I knew several people that did, but not everybody knew people that passed away from COVID. This fire situation in LA, these fires, everybody knows someone who lost a home. I've never seen an active nature weather situation where literally everyone is affected, even if it's not your home that went down, even if it's not you that got displaced. We had to take people in. So like everyone has to people were taking people in. You got people living out of their city, even if they didn't lose their home. You had people without power going on 2 weeks. Like I got part of my crew at work that didn't have power for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And they had nowhere, they couldn't go home. There was no power, and they weren't letting them in. So you have people stretched out all over the city. You have looting up, you have crime up, you got some bad people coming out the woodwork when this stuff goes down. And the fires are still going. So it's a very unique situation. We have wildfires every year. We have displacement every year, and we have people who lose their homes every year. It is never this widespread because that wind that hit 2 weeks ago was something that we've never seen in LA, not in my lifetime. And because of that wind, there was just nothing anyone could do with it. There was no firefighter. There was nothing that could prevent what have happened. There was only one thing that could have stopped what happened that night, and that was if there was downpour and there was rain. Nature versus nature there. Like the wind causing the fires that the water would knock out. That's the only way we were going to avoid that. And we didn't get the rain. And the wind was just, it was another level. And the winds are not that now. It's windy out today, but it's not what it was 2 weeks ago. So these fires, they'll probably be able to get more control over them, but you can't get helicopters in the sky with 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts. You can't do it. Even if they could fly, the water's not going to drop where you intend it. So it's just been hell for a lot of people. I know a lot of people affected by it. It's very, very sad. And, God bless everyone, because it's not just that they lost their homes or businesses or their lives. People are forgetting there's still a good handful of people that passed away, but their life just doesn't go back once the fires get put out. And that's the hardest part. So appreciate you for asking. It's a tough situation. I'm blessed. My home is standing. It was never in threat. It was never threatened. I can't say that for some loved ones and some people that I care about. And it's sad, man. It really, really sucks. But thank you for asking. I hope Tony Gosselin is not traded. Dude was a 19-game winner with a sub-2 ERA and Cy Young candidate before he was injured. I hope he's not given away. I'll say that. I hope he's not. I don't know if I'm going to say I hope he's not traded, because I think we have the depth there. Look, for those who want Luis Robert Jr., let me ask you, would you do that deal if you had to send out Catman? Would you do that? Let me know. Because that may be what it took since you traded Lux. Maybe what it takes. Cameron Brink. Give me power over contact all day, every day. In the playoffs, you need guys who crush mistake pitches. Yep. Players won't see that many good pitches to hit. Hard to string together hits. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got that one guy. You get a guy who can change the entire outcome of a series with one swing. Yeah. Yeah. Give me that. Muncy's got potential to do that. He does. And look, I can't tell people who to like, who not to like. That's not my place. For me, I like Muncy on this team because the intangibles he brings. He also made some really incredible plays at third base that kind of caught me off guard. But I happen to agree with Hepatitis from that standpoint. Enough Asians already. Super annoying when we have to rely on translators and can't understand what players are saying. Sorry, not sorry. Oh no, I totally disagree with that. Give me 5 Otanis who don't speak English. I don't care if they speak at all. Like if you got guys who can get up there and help us win World Series, I don't care if they don't speak at all. I do not care. No way, shape, or form do I care what they say or don't say. I just do not care. A lot of guys. I defend the team as whole if I can. Let's not act like CT3 also took overall stats. I bet he has the same ops as Ohtani in the postseason. People that want Murakami need to look at his stats for the last 2 seasons. It's not good. Well, maybe it won't cost as much. I think the Dodgers can improve on guys once they get him. Power worked great in the steroids era, but there's a reason Yankees have won World Series in the last 24 years. I mean, there's kind of merit in that, but when you look at teams that have won World Series, they got guys with power. They got tons of guys with power. Yep. MBB in a dead ball era, Makami does not have contact rate concerns, but the raw power is immense. Even in his down years, he slugs and draws walks. Yep. SD has spent 0 this offseason on free agent signings. Yeah. I mean, San Diego's season this year kind of reminds me of the Dodgers in 2023, that they did get JD Martinez and they did get Thor, right? But it wasn't groundbreaking moves, even though JD became an all-star that year. But you're not even seeing San Diego having like a punt year. Like you're not even seeing that. So and look, I'm not for what's going on in San Diego. I don't like it. I don't like what they're going through. I don't think that it is ideal for baseball. I don't want to see them go through that. I just don't. Like I like the competition. I want to beat them on the field, not because of this. And I hope that they get it together. I hope that they're able to figure it out. It probably leads to a sale, but I got to tell you, if it leads to a sale and a multi-billionaire owner comes in and gets them, and AJ Preller is still there and has a license to spend, then the Padres, when their organizational structure, even though I feel like they've made some mistakes that they couldn't get out of simply because they didn't have the money, you give them an owner with money, and you may see a tremendous difference here. So I don't want to say be careful what you wish for, because I'm not rooting against San Diego getting an owner that can make them competitive, but it could end up like, even though Sterling getting rid of the Clippers and Ballmer getting them led to no championships, they're vastly improved team under Ballmer than they were under Sterling, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, Craig, I love having Craig on here, man. He's a lifetimer, man. Let's see. Yeah, Joe, I kind of agree with that. I do. I think it's okay to hold them accountable, but I don't think Joe even has a problem with that. Matter of fact, I know Joe. I can't speak for Joe. Joe does a pretty good job speaking for himself, but to just dog walk our players and drag them when they've helped us. I still show respect, even though they're on a downslide. Again, everyone is free to think for themselves. I can't tell anyone who to like, dislike, how to think. I speak for me, right? Just like Joe speaks for himself. You guys are free to like or dislike. I love having the conversations, to be honest. It's kind of fun, right? It's kind of fun when it's kind of cool, and this whole conversation and thing that we have when you've got a guy on one side completely hating a player and someone like me who's got a little bit more patience. But there's guys I don't like and don't have a lot of patience for, but I still give them their love, right? So like Jack Flaherty's a guy I didn't want back, but I also want to make sure I give him his flowers, because we don't get to where we got without him. So while CT3 didn't give us that this last year, he's been heavily involved in our success since 2016, 17. So yeah, I do pay homage to that, as well as what Muncy has done, as well as Kershaw, all those guys, Barnes. At some point, they're going to be gone. But I'm not going to kick him out the door like there's some scrub that didn't help us at some point. Like I want to show a little respect, but that's me. I can't tell you guys how to think, nor would I. But it is kind of funny because, like I said, the perspective of people and kind of their patience level for people is what kind of makes it unique, you know, in its own form. But I don't mind the conversations. BC says DFA Taylor. Oh man. Marlins almost got penalized by MLPA for a low payroll. Yep. Sound like a Padre fan. Joe sounds like a Padre fan. That's crazy. Cubs GM says their goal is to break even every year. Yeah, that's, and the fact, you know what? This is such a this is such an excellent point for a number of reasons. A number of reasons. Let me get a drink of water here real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. And to hear a team like the Cubs come out and say that, there's levels. Give me a moment here because I want to touch on this. So not only do they come out and say this in a time in which the Dodgers are getting slammed for overcommitting and overspending, right? Then you got guys like teams like this coming out saying that, basically proving all of our points that the other owners just don't care enough. But then you go and you make a trade for a guy in Kyle Tucker, who's a free agent to be, and then you go into arbitration with him and then pull out of it and finally pay him. But you already got off to a rocky start with him. You're essentially signaling to him that you did not mind upsetting him by not getting a deal done before potential arbitration. And now you're saying this before you can work on an extension with him, or you intend to sign him at the end of the season. If I'm another Major League Baseball team, I'm just seeing Tucker's screaming rental from the Cubs. That's what I'm seeing. And for them to come out and say something like that in the midst of why the Dodgers are getting slammed for getting everybody, this just further proves why the Dodgers are saving baseball, not ruining them. These guys, like the Cubs ownership, those are the guys ruining baseball. The Pirates owners, the Cubs owners, the Marlins owners, those people are ruining baseball, not the Dodgers. The Royal owners for so long, they finally spent some money, and look what happened. Those guys, the Brewers owners, who trade guys left and right every time it comes down to trying to pay them, not trading for guys who only have 1 year of team control on there to finish out, a pennant race. Those teams and those guys are ruining baseball, not the Dodgers. So this is a great point. Speaking of 2004, the Blue Jays are modeling their team off the 2024 Detroit Pistons. Nothing but defense, no offense. It's nothing but defense. But imagine if they got a Pete Alonso and then move Ladd to third. Like, they do build it off of supposed to be pitching and defense. Now, their outfield is still solid, but their infield potentially can get a little murky. Santander out there in the outfield now. But if they get Alonso on top of that, it's going to be interesting. Catholic, I love Padre. Muncie was a cheerleader. Yeah, I like Max, man. Max, he's with us, man. He's ours. He's one of ours. I got no problem with Max. Let's go to Lean. Hope I didn't butcher that. How many Dodgers will be in the All-Star game? That's a good question. See who's healthy. Some of them are going to cancel each other out because they're on the same team. Baseball has that weird rule where someone from each team has to have a representative in the All-Star game. So that could hurt some of them. Anyone hear the Mariano Rivera accusations? I did not. I haven't heard anything. Muncie might get replaced in 2025. I do not think it'll be Vladdy, though. Kings go 2-1. Good stuff, Kings. I want Vladdy over Murakami. Of course, the price tag is huge. Yeah, he's going to get $450. Like, he's good. He's really good. But you know what? I got a feeling the Mets are going to be all over Vladdy, man. All over Vladdy. We have Cody Alden. I mean, if those guys are still on the roster, right? Like I'm saying. So the Dodgers may go, and again, you got these guys coming up, like we talked about. So maybe some of these guys that they got down the road, they're just buying time for them. I didn't hear anything about Rivera, but then again, I haven't really been tuned in. Yep, I saw the Mariano thing. Yank fans, players, former players are in the mud right now. So I got to look this up. I did not hear anything about that. That's crazy. I'm telling you, it's been a week, y'all. It's been a week. I've been tied up. I've just been doing little 1-minute clips because I haven't had time to do a show. So I'm not even sure what happened here. Douglas Anderson. What's going on, Douglas? Can't say anything about Muncy. He has a very high OPS. All Roberts has to do is put behind him the clutch hitters behind him, like maybe Kim. I still like Muncy, man. I still do. Alejandro, what's going on, Alejandro? I've seen too many MLB related podcasts titled "Are Dodgers Ruining Baseball?" No creativity. They look like sheep who can't come up with their own topics and copy each other. You notice I've never done a show about that, even in defense of the Dodgers. So I tend to agree with you. I hate the cookie cut, man. I hate the cookie cut. Look, you maybe some of you guys disagree with me, and I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I put thoughts into my titles and my descriptions and everything. I don't just wing it. Like I put thought into this, and I definitely never go down the path of running with what every single other person is doing. I don't do the same shows I feel that everyone else is doing. I feel that happens with the Lakers a lot. Laker channels, like most Laker channels, are talking the same stuff almost every night, right? I really try to bring a different perspective when it comes to covering the teams. That's why I went so hard down the CBA guy, being the CBA guy in the NBA, knowing the insides of the CBA. I really do believe that I was top tier CBA guy in the YouTube streets out here, man. I really felt I was and am. So that was kind of my lane there. I wanted to do something different than what everyone else was doing. If you watch a Laker game and you go on the internet and you watch the games, majority of the shows are the same thing. They're the same thing. So that's why people go in and out of all the different shows and they really don't miss a beat because it's the same thing everywhere. Not all of them. I want to be clear. Not all of them. But there's a lot of them who do the same things. So for me, I really try to bring a different perspective to it. And with my titles, with my description, with my topics, with my talking points, with my chat engagement, that alone, I think, separates me, right? The chat engagement. Like, it's why I mostly do shows by myself, because this is kind of what I've branded my show off of. And even if the channel gets to the point where it's berserk and going crazy, I'm still going to try to read as many as I can because I want to be different. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot easier when I had 100 subscribers to read every chat. It's harder now. Like, it's harder. There was a night I had to stay on here like an extra 45 minutes just to get through all the chats. I was spent. I was beat. You know what I mean? But, that's why I try to be a little different than your average YouTuber out here, man. I try. I don't know if it comes off that way, and I don't know if it's perceived as that, but I try. Dr. V says Muncy is a glue guy, a clubhouse guy, which is just as important to our superstars. This I agree with. If you get nearly 200 million in revenue sharing and local TV a year, you can spend some money on payroll. Facts. Kim will be lucky to hit above 200 based on recent KBO transfers with similar experience and statistics. But I will say, how many of those played for the Dodgers? That's what I will say. Muncy played well at third. Yep. Vlad might even get traded if they don't get an extension done soon. I don't think he'll be traded until the trade deadline if he does get traded. But like I said, keep an eye on the Mets for him. I think the Mets have a very strong chance to get him. I think they're kind of waiting it out for him, either via trade and then signing him next offseason. But I think that they are pretty locked in, like what they're trying to do here. They just seem like they were waiting on Soto. Not the Dodgers. The Mets kind of remind me of the Dodgers before Ohtani, right? They kind of got their guys that they feel that they want, that they're going to go after, that they may already know they're going to get. So they were pretty confident about Soto, even though they said there were points where they weren't. They were confident that they would outspend anybody. And with that being said, being a Boris client and Soto probably going to the highest bidder, had to feel fairly confident they were going to get him at some point. Vlad might be the same thing, right? So they're sitting on those two. You need to get some dominant long-term pitchers here. They're going to have to work on that. But I think the Mets are kind of like, look, we got Soto, we have Lindor. Does Vientos come back and resemble anything like he was in the playoffs? Do we overpay for Pete for 1 year, right, and get him to stay and run that back and then go after Vladdy next year? But I think they're positioning themselves to be something. I do. They just claim I'm trying that in their merch and just and they don't even make the parking lot. Imagine if they made the parking lot. Oh my God. Vlad Bichette will eventually replace Muncy and Rojas, both a decade younger. You think they're getting both of them? Oh man, nah. No, I mean, I'll fall out my chair if that happens. I'm so happy we didn't get Soto. We got a whole team so much better. You know what's funny when I said like I don't like just because they were getting the $600 million range for Soto does not mean that they were going to spend that collectively on all these players, and they may have spent more than what they were going to spend on Soto in a year to get these players. And it's just insanity. Dodgers might have won the title with Soto in 2022. That is true. That is absolutely true. Is it true Dodgers are getting Jimmy Butler? Oh my God. Trying to catch up here, y'all. Let's see. What's going on, Miguel? Appreciate you, man. Jeff, are you going to Dodger Fest? I would say probably not. I want to. I have kind of commitments that day. Just found out about it. Then I'm gonna be traveling for business around that time. So I don't know if I'm leaving that day or the next day, but I do have plans on the 1st, and I really can't break them right now. But holding out hope that maybe something could get worked out, but I'm not optimistic. I think I'm gonna miss it. If I knew ahead of time, like I had more time to plan, I could have made it work better, but I don't think I'm going to be able to that weekend. Good fit for the Dodgers bullpen. Arenado is not Boris. Who said he was Boris? I don't think I said he was Boris. Where would we put Nolan in our 1 through 9 though? That's how stacked we are, man. Yeah, well, I'm more worried about where they put him on the field. Like I don't know. I don't see where they could put him. Yeah, and that's another thing. Roki, Yamamoto, Glass now. There's another guy. Who else is it? There's another guy on the team. Like all these guys have the same agent. You know what I mean? A lot of them have the same agent. Fires on the label comes next. Is California leadership smart enough to prep much less? Oh man, it's a hot mess. I'm a number 1 Nolan hater. His metrics are down massively. Even Matt Kemp in his rejuvenated 2018 season had good metrics in 2017 to point towards coming back being possible. Arenado has nada. You know what? I would typically lean on those metrics too. See you later. But something weird is happening in St. Louis. There's a lot of people who just don't want to be there and are playing uninspired baseball. Like I really want to see what Goldschmidt looks like with the Yankees. I'm not saying he's gonna have a monster year. I'm just saying I'm very curious to see what look at what Edmund did. I know he didn't play last year, but for the Cardinals. I'm very interested to see what some of these guys look like now that they're on other teams. And what's dude that got traded? Was it no, he wasn't on the Cardinals. He the guy got traded from Marlins, not the Cardinals. I'm very curious to see what some of these guys look like once they get on another team. And I'll leave it at that. And Arenado is one of those. I think they could have a decent year. Like if he goes to Boston, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Like I think wherever he goes, anywhere that he goes, I feel like he's going to have a better year than he had last year with St. Louis. I just think a lot of guys, for whatever reason, don't want to be there. It's a very weird situation going on in St. Louis right now. At this point, he probably is overall better than CT3 for sure. This I would tend to agree with, man. I would tend to agree. Let's see here. We're up to 35 likes on the video. Please drop a like if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Twitter X rocking heavy, man. 130 people on Twitter X right now, man. Appreciate you guys. Matthew says 1 Ohtani, 2 Betts, 3 Freeman, 4 Teoscar, 5 Muncy, 6 Smith, 7 Edmund, 8 Arenado. If traded, 9 Kike. You signed with Conforto, Taylor, and Miggy sitting in the dugout, catching balls in the outfield for outs. Now, Conforto signed for $17, $18 million, man. He's going to start in left field. He's going to start in left field. Only way I would be down for the Nolan trade is if the Dodgers get their recently drafted top shortstop prospect, JJ Weatherholt, in that deal in exchange for taking all the owed money to Helsley, too. I don't know. Yeah, this line. You see these Mets scouted Roki in high school too. Big deal. They scouted him, but they didn't make the trips out there every year. Scouted is different. Scouted versus actually going out there with your whole contingent. Talking about your whole front office out there. Totally different. The Mets did not do everything that the Dodgers did. Not even close. No team did. When Otani returns, 1 Snell, 2 Otani, 3 Glass now, 4 Yamamoto, 5 Sasaki, 6 Flaherty. I believe we should re-sign Flaherty and make a 6-man rotation. Well, you have Catman. You have potentially Dustin May. I don't think they signed Flaherty, but at this point, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? And you got Yamamoto 4th. Very important to ping pong tournament. That he is. I would trade Knack because he sucks. How about Grove? Yeah, potential there too. We should just call the group of Otani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, King Ghidorah, because you now have a 3-headed monster in LA. Man, it's nuts. None of the starting pitchers with minor league options will be traded right now. They need them to eat innings and survive 162 by the deadline. Maybe guys like Brazier on the chopping block. Yeah, unless they're moving him for guys, they get back with other guys with options. But other than that, yeah, I can see that. We still got Profar, Kim Alonso, other top free agents. We're not getting those guys. Mets holding out for Vladdy Jr. This, I believe, is true. What's going on, Jay Smooth? An exec with the name Buster is just a recipe for disaster. Buster ass organization. Dodgers are a first-class organization. Can you think of another organization that can come close to the Dodgers? As currently constructed, that wins. The Spurs were known as a grade A organization. They're not winning anymore. They got Wemby. We'll see what comes of that. Everyone labeled the Heat as a great organization. That's blowing up in their face. The Warriors were kind of along the lines of that, right? They were. Believe it or not, aside from the winning, this is going to sound crazy, I know. Aside from the winning, the Clippers are held in very high regard for having a good organization. I'm just saying. OKC the same. There are teams, the Boston Celtics. There are teams that are heralded as being ran very, very, very well. Fortunately, the basketball team that people care about in LA really isn't. And Lewis is still a free agent. What are your predictions for all 4? I may have missed. Not entirely sure what you mean there. The Flacco, what's going on? The Flacco loved how Stan and Roki addressed the fire situation in LA during the press conference. Yeah. Man, it's a tough situation. Sorry to hear my grandma had to evacuate and my aunt might have to go up North Cali with the aunts. And yeah, I have never seen Cali like that before. And sad to see. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, man. And again, this isn't like a poor me situation because I'm fine. My house is fine. My parents, they're fine. But I do. My heart does hurt for those that aren't. Both people I know and don't know. It's horrific. It's horrible. And I think I really try not to dip too much outside of my lane on the internet because there's a lot of people who speak on things that they really don't know about, or they just talk to talk and they really don't have any details. So I, for the most part, stay away from that. But I will say this because I think it's important, and I don't mean to upset anybody. I'm just anyone who was out there saying that the people in the Palisades, we don't need to worry about them simply because they have money is crazy. Like, I don't care how much money you have. Some of those people still got it out the mud. And even if they didn't, that's their home. It's where their families live. It's where they raise their children. It's where they inherited their homes from their parents. Some people had homes for 2 or 3 generations, like in Altadena. So I don't care how much money you have. You're still a human. And when people say, well, they still have their health, what about their mental health? What about that? Like, I just think it's very disrespectful, foolish, naive, and kind of just out of pocket, not a line, to simply say they have money, they'll be fine. Maybe they'll get on their feet faster than others that don't. Maybe some will, but maybe some won't. And regardless of the fact, it's still their home, and I feel it's disrespectful. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't mean to offend anybody if they feel that way, but I know people that were wealthy, who got it out the mud, who came to this country with nothing, and their parents and grandparents worked their damn near fingers to the bone to get everything they had. They built a business and it hit and changed their whole family's lives. And now their home's gone. I don't care how much money they had. They grinded. They hustled. Shout out to them, man. I think anyone talking that is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But again, I don't really dip into stuff like that, but it's wrong, man. That's wrong. Hope your grandma, your aunts, hope everyone's safe, and God bless y'all, man. I'm sorry you guys are dealing with that. And I didn't mean to go off script, guys. I didn't mean to go too far, veer one way or another, but I think some people are just disrespectful and like too soon to be just. Not everyone has to hear hurtful opinions at a time like this, man. Yes, Gonsolin to get Luis Roberts worth it. Okay. Yeah, I know I asked that earlier. Lewis is a big shot, but risky. Good, but risky. No to Robert Jr. Yes, I trade Gosselin for Luis Robert Jr., Gosselin, Kendall George, Alex Freeland, plus Luis Robert Jr. I'd rush to the commissioner's office. Matthew Vasquez says, I thought Ohtani speaks English. He speaks enough of it, but again, like, you don't want to be one of those guys that gets a word wrong or mixed up and you say something and it's taken out of context. These guys got to be careful. Especially Ohtani, he's got a huge brand, right? Like, you see how it is, man. He misquoted one thing as saying he met a fan when he didn't, and look what happened. So it's like, if I'm him, I wouldn't talk at all to people because they're just looking for him to mess up. Dan Inspiration says the only guy the Dodgers missed on was Devin Williams. Can you imagine them getting Devin Williams with Tanner Scott? Yeah. They didn't up the ante for him. They could have got him, and he thought he was going there. The starts before Gosselin got injured, he didn't look all that good. His ability to get out of jams is top tier. Top tier. like he could have bases loaded, no outs, and I feel like he still gets out of it. Like, he has crazy performances like that, man. Trying to catch up to all these, man. Martin Maldonado, the worst hitter ever, is their starting catcher. Appreciate you, Serge. Thank you for cleaning up. I wonder, did Roki hit, and was he good at hitting? The guy is 6'4". I think Roki could probably be a decent hitter too. I don't know how much work he put into it. I didn't hear much about that, but I could, probably got to do some research on it. Padres are done for a while, looking like AZ and SF for the foreseeable future as LA's competition. Yeah, maybe San Diego has ran its course, maybe. What's going on, Jasper? AZ for sure, but San Francisco needs another signing or two. Yep. Something tells me Verlander isn't going to have a Cy Young performance. Yeah. I think the D-backs are the second best team in the NL, despite getting worse. Yeah, we'll see if they can stay healthy too, right? And they kind of fell apart down the stretch last year. We'll see though. Yeah, they haven't, because they kind of did the route of like the Rangers. They got their chip and just broke it all up. They dipped. Like, all right, we're done. Crazy. I thought the Cubs were going to go for a while. I thought that was going to be a pretty strong run. The Cubs are in a large market, and the owner is saying that. It's insane. Yeah, that's nuts, man. Even with Bellinger and now Tucker. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe they're saying it right now. Yeah, I mean, they read the room. Like, you're getting, like, you can just blame the Dodgers at this point. At this point, you're co-signing what the Dodgers are doing. My dad's team, the Indians and Guardians, to these guys. Oh man. Zong says, I think Roki found out how much Dodger fans want him to be on the team. There's that. Like, he Dodger fans have just felt for a while that he was ours. Jasper says, I feel like we will see continued viewership increases as long as the Dodgers are the big baddies, kind of like how even today the most viewed NBA game was a Christmas game between LeBron and Steph. Yeah, so you're going to have the massive amount of Dodger fans mixed in now with the new massive wall of Dodger haters. You have Stan Kanston talked on that today. You got the guys who love the Dodgers, and now you got all the people that equally hate the Dodgers watching just to root against them. And so with that being said, you're going to see that in ballparks, and you're going to see that, revenue sharing wise. So I agree. What's going on? Chris, my brother Chris, man. Max is our tough guy, our fighter. Talker, we need him. Yeah, Max, my guy, man. The JHS of the Lakers. He called him a scrub. Oh, that's funny. Mario, I don't think it's nasty. Oh, man. Yeah, but would you say that to his face? Some of those Laker channels just flip-flop game to game. Yeah, they just live in the moment. Everything is just overreacted to a lot of them. There's a lot of good channels. Like, don't get me wrong. And I'm not really taking a shot at anyone independently. I'm just saying the basketball coverage culture in general has become very cookie cut, very lazy, very non-creative in a lot of ways. And there's still a lot of people out there that do a great job. I don't really want to name drop on one side or the other. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that, like, there's still people who do quality shows, have quality titles, and put on a quality show. Then you got guys who just write, people or girls that'll just write a headline and have no context to it. They stick on a topic for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then everything goes a million different directions. Like, it's bad content to me. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, again, my opinion could be wrong. The people like it, they like it. People like what they like. But I think when it comes down to basketball, I think it's just got so watered down because the game has gotten watered down. And I think to give content creators a break, I think it's a struggle to find really good content when the product isn't that good right now. So for that I understand to a point. Yep. Talking to each other. Toronto can re-sign him for $555 million. Doesn't appear that they've offered that, or there'll probably be a deal already. Probably would be a deal already. Sorry about prior posts. It happens. I got fat fingers too. They got Lindor. We got Betts. They got Soto. We got Freeman. They got Teo. We got Vladdy. We got Shohei plus Will. Yeah, wait. It doesn't matter who they get. We're better. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. Oh, speaking of Kemp, when is Hall of Fame Day? And Ichiro, the Ichiro was crazy. They should make whoever does that, they should make those votes public because someone clearly hated, just like the guy who did for Jeter. How was Jeter not a unanimous Hall of Famer? How was Ichiro? Okay, don't get me started on this. Get me started on this. How is Ichiro not a unanimous Hall of Famer? How? How is Derek Jeter not a unanimous Hall of Famer? How? Make these clowns public. Make them public. Like remember the dumbass, rest in peace, Fred Hickman. Rest in peace. He's dead. He's gone. Rest in peace. God bless his soul and his family. But how the hell do you not vote Shaquille O'Neal unanimous MVP in 2000? Hate. Just hating. But how the hell does Ichiro and Derek Jeter not get first ballot Hall of Famer, man? That craziness. That Japanese MF was him and crazy on the. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I probably missed what you said, but what do you think about the Joe Kelly said about implementing salary cap in the MLB? He's right. You put a floor and a cap involved there, you're just forcing all kinds of havoc in a league that's not prepared for that. Never in the history has this league had it, and you're going to put it in now. You're asking for disruption in massive ways. Keep up the great content, EJ. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, thank you, Elias. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, man. This is not, I'm just the guy you hear, right? But you guys in the chat are contributing just as much as I am. So you guys all keep up the great work. I appreciate you. This channel wouldn't be nothing without you guys. I know that. I say that often. I don't forget about what this channel means and what I'm here for. Never have forgot that. Never will. Appreciate you. Thank you. What about the Braves? Braves are solid. The Braves are very solid, and if they're healthy, they could be a threat. I thought they were going to get at least one more World Series, but they just can't stay healthy. They've signed nobody. We'll see what happens there, but they got all their guys locked up long term. Kind of signed them early. The 20-year-old third baseman Kim Do-young has some eye-popping stats for the season. 139 games, 347 batting average, 419 OBS, 651 slugging, 1.070 OPS, 38 home runs, 40 stolen bases, 10 triples, 168 hits. The fact that he has that many stolen bases with that many triples, with that much power, with that high of an average, and that many hits, yeah. Yeah, that's building one hell of a young resume there. Search says, me and Jeff love you, not just a statement like other channels. Oh yeah, facts. I say it all the time. People always make fun of me for how much I say I appreciate, but I appreciate you guys. I will continue to say I appreciate you too many times, because to me it's not too many times. And I appreciate those who call out me saying appreciate it, because it means you notice how much I say I appreciate you guys. So I'm me, never going to change. But that's the best thing about having your own show, right? You can do what you want. And as long as people show up, we must like it, right? So Maldonado says, Jeff is one of my favorite YouTube dudes. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you, man. You know what I really pride myself on? And you can ask this to anybody who's knows me in the internet world, who has hung with me offline. Like, I'm the same guy. I curse more in public because I try not to curse on my show. I definitely curse more in public. And obviously when we're drinking, I can have a good time. Like, you're going to have people have a good time when I'm amped up, let's just say. So, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm for the most part the same guy, right? Same exact guy. Can't always say that about everyone on here. You know what I mean? And I pride myself in being that. And you can ask anyone that I've ever met off here. They'll stamp that. They'll stamp that. There's no smut on my rep around here when it comes to that, So it's I just get up here, I press record, I do me. I do think about my description, my video titles, and all that. But when it comes to what I'm going to say next, I have no idea. None. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And for a guy who naturally has no filter, to be able to police myself and not go wild on here at times, like, I'm actually proud of myself for doing so. Even when I'm like washed and I'm up here after like just lit, like, I'm still for the most part behaving myself. Appreciate you, Maldonado. Is that Hino or Jinjo? I don't want to pronounce it wrong. If the Dodgers got Williams, then they would not have gotten Yates. Who knows at this point, man? I mean, I would have took Williams over Yates, so I would have. The Flacco says, MLB behind closed, I knew, are thankful for the Dodgers are doing. People are taking baseball for good and the bad. Yeah, it's helping them. It's helping the sport. Well, the Dodgers wanted both. Yeah, it's helping the sport tremendously. Let's see. Okay, I'm just repeating that. Cortez and a prospect. Braves #1 threat to LA. You know what? I don't hate that take. Like, I think they're very good. Phillies have given us some trouble, but look, if this team's healthy, a 5-game series can be scary no matter who you are. But I think this team is just so equipped to take out or take on anyone in any stadium. Hepatitis C later says, spot on, Jeff. Adding a cap right now when some teams are already over the CBT and have long-term commitments would be crazy. Even cheap owners won't want a cap because of the shared revenue. Facts. And they won't want a cap because they don't want a floor. Those things go hand in hand. A lot of people aren't, grasping that. I know you are, but a lot of people don't grasp that portion of it. Baseball in LA will be the #1 sport. Dodgers, USC, Rams, Lakers. I'm not excited about the NBA All-Star game. Yeah, the NBA All-Star game has been horrific, man. It's been horrific. I love my Lakers, but it's gotten to the point where I lost all interest on the team. I lost all faith with Genie. Thank goodness my Dodgers are keeping it going. Yeah, you know what? And this hurts me to say. It does. It hurts me to say. And I am the furthest from a non-stick it out guy. Like, when it comes to when your team goes through rough patches, I'm not just kind of on the Lakers right now. I'm on the NBA. That's what it is to me. I've always been an NBA guy, not just a Laker guy. I'm like, to me, I'm an NBA fan first and a diehard Laker fan second, but I'm a massive NBA head. Like I'm a league pass veteran. Like I'm go to other arenas, see two teams that aren't my team play veteran. Like basketball is my heart and my world, but the game is just last year was just, and maybe it was because my first year of content creation, but last year was so much of a struggle to watch and be part of that. It kind of took away from it a bit. And the way, this season is going, the way that these games are played, the way they're officiated, it's not even it's not even the 3-point shots. It's the effort. It's the effort in which guys play with. They're not out there trying at all. Like the game is not the game anymore. And I don't want to be the get off my lawn guy. And I'm not even like, oh, the 90s, even 5 years ago. It's not that game anymore. And to me, it's just, guys don't compete. It's just skill on skill and who has the most skill that night. There's really no competition out there. And I crave competition. I want to see some of the ugly stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want to see, it's just not a game that I have a high amount of enjoyment in watching. I tried. I've watched. I've done some shows. The shows did well because people were looking for me. They want me back in basketball. But it's hard for me because my energy's not there. And I'm an energy guy. And if I don't feel I can deliver a good show, I'm not going to do it. Even tonight, man, I'm tired. Like I said, it's been a rough couple of days. And still coming up here, I almost didn't do the show tonight. I'm like, man, am I going to have the energy? So I don't usually schedule my shows 45 minutes in advance. I did that tonight to hold myself accountable and make myself do the show. All right. So, not that I didn't feel like doing the show. I just didn't know. I didn't trust my energy tonight. I was like, kind of out of it. I started getting, looking forward to the show. That's how I knew, yeah, this is right. Let me schedule the show while I'm looking forward to it. And I went on talk myself out of it and, did the show. And that's how I try to do these shows. And I feel like in the basketball community, there's not a lot of that anymore because the game doesn't excite a lot of people anymore. It's just a lot of derogatory conversations and dudes cooking people and debates from people who are from the YouTube and stat era that never really watched the games. And it's just really bad perspectives and takes. And I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Let's see. So he said the Braves, Phillies, Mets, and Padres. The Braves are going to be a problem. Like I could see a Yankees Dodgers World Series again. Like I could totally see it. I could totally see it. Like for sure, I could see it. Like I really could. Like this could like Yankees Dodgers. Maybe I'm crazy, but Yankees Dodgers could end up being like a Warriors Cavs situation. It really could, really could. We stack chits. What's going on, sis? Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you up here. Hope you and the family doing great. Good to see you. I know it's a baseball talk tonight. Well, appreciate you pulling it up, showing support. Love you, sis. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Do you rock with the Dodgers? I don't recall. I know she's one of the heavy Twitter voices for the Lakers. Does a great job. It's funny as hell. Be entertaining as hell. Like I don't know how much of a baseball fan you are collectively. I think you know enough of it, but I think you're definitely way more basketball though. But appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Don't get me wrong. I love the NBA. I still watch, just have a hard time watching my Lakers. Again, I will always love the NBA. Like I will always love it. Basketball, like it's, sometimes, fellas, sometimes you have a fight with your chick. You know what I mean? Or ladies, you got to fight with your man, right? And you just off it for right now. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go over there. I'm gonna do me over here. And that's kind of where I am with basketball right now. It's tough, man. It's tough because I've never a day in my life woke up and not been excited about basketball. Not a day in my life. But they did this to me. Like they did this to me. Like the league putting in, the CBA, which murdered the trade deadline and murdered, the NBA offseason and free agency. And and then you have a very kind of non-creative organization with the Lakers who can't really navigate the best through it. They made a horrible move, and they almost have PTSD from the Russ trade, so they're scared to do anything that's over a certain amount of risk. So there's nothing to really be excited about is the problem, right? And while there's parity and not knowing who the hell is going to win a championship, I do like that. But the rest of it is just really, really, really hard to stomach at this point, man. I hope you guys understand when I'm coming from. I will never be anti-NBA. I'm just not excited about it right now. Something will happen. I don't know. I'll get back into it. I'm a humble guy, but I'm also like quite aware of my ability, right? I'm too nice with it to not do it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do it. It's just I gotta catch a vibe with it. I gotta get inspired a little bit. You know what I mean? And I'm just not there yet. I like the comparison of Yankees, Dodgers to Cavs, Warriors. I think it's possible. For sure. We Stack Chip said, I love the Dodgers. Good for you, sis. Well, see, there we go. There we go. When she says we stack chips, we also talk about the Dodgers too. That's what I'm talking about. Lost interest in the NBA when Kobe retired. Can't stand LeBron. I'm not a Bron hater, and I definitely didn't lose interest when Kobe retired. It was a rough couple of years. But again, I'm an NBA guy first. So that Warriors run, like hate it or love it, like it was entertaining, you know. I'm definitely not an anti-Bron guy, you know. I wish he was having a little better run with the Lakers right now, but I'm not an anti-Bron guy. Probably last time I watched was 2020. I say sayonara after Kobe left the Lakers. Nah, I did. I bleed purple and gold, man. I bleed Dodger blue. Like these team colors are in my DNA. You know what I mean? It's just that look. I can't even hold you guys, man. Like the McCourt era of the Dodgers was really rough on me too. Like it was really hard to go to games to support that ownership group. It was really hard to be excited about the team because they just weren't going to get it right. And it's kind of feels like that's where we are with this Laker team. And we've been here before. This is familiar territory. And eventually, McCourts were forced to sell, and we're in like literally our blue heaven now. It is my hope that at some point Jeannie does the right thing. I don't think it'll be in the near future, but I'm hoping it's in my lifetime of when I can still enjoy this, right? But it is dark days right now, man. I mean, it's not like we're like the worst team in the league. I'm saying dark days because if we're not at least in contention for a championship, to me, that's a dark day. And I don't think that team is in contention for a championship. I just don't. Says, I feel you. It takes the excitement out of it, especially the front office being weirdos. Yeah, that's it right there. Like look what the Dodgers are doing, sis. I did a post on TikTok and I was like, since the Dodgers are out here signing players faster than Kendrick was responding to Drake, and the rest of the league is not signing players slower than Drake wasn't responding to Kendrick, like this is kind of exactly what it is to me. The Dodgers got a rap beef with the entire league, and they're not like us. Like they're just not. They're just not. It's a friendly thing. You should keep it that way. That's what the Dodgers are saying. And that's exciting. Look, I'll admit, I will admit, the Dodgers weren't even leaving us time to celebrate a move. They were giving us 48 hours. Like people weren't even allowed to be reported missing between the times Dodgers were signing people. All right. They weren't able to be like the police reports couldn't even been filed in the time the Dodgers were signing people. They got Roki on Friday. They got Scott on Sunday, and they allegedly got Yates on Tuesday. So like it's like you just got done with one party. You trying to go lay down because you're about to be hungover as hell, and the other party started. Like you got like the pregame, the party, the after party, the after non-Diddy party. Like you have all these things going down, and it's like it's crazy what the Dodgers are doing. And I'm like, Lakers, Lakers. Can we just get a sample of this? Can we just get a Seas Candy sample of this? Please. Like, give us that. Man. Sorry, I went a little sideways there. I have 3 West Coast teams and 1 East Coast. That's a lot of teams. Rob is safe from getting fired because the Kobe genie won't fire him if they don't make the moves. She might not, man. Oregon Ducks, college football, Lakers, NBA, and Dodgers, MLB. Okay, I thought you meant 4 like in the same league. Like that's a lot. Hated when Karl Malone tried to get a ring with us. I don't know if I hated it. He became their second all-time leading scorer in Laker uniform. That was kind of cool. But yeah, once he tore his knee, it was done. Zion Williamson seriously choked the NBA itself. Bro was supposed to be the future. You know what? That's an excellent point too. There's no post LeBron face of the NBA. There's just not. Everyone expects Wemby to be it, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see. It sucks because we have a roster to win, but Jay's something isn't clicking. When LeBron leaves, I don't think we'll be able to contend at all. I mean, I think the Lakers might be in position to do something. You know, what I mean, but especially if they keep all their picks. But you know, it's gonna have to wait and see. The Drake Kendrick one got me to chuckle. Yeah, like I hadn't had much time to do videos because I've been crazy busy. But my IG, the TikTok, like those things been growing steadily, man. Like I actually just got monetized on IG. Started getting like, you know, paid for posts like out of nowhere. A couple of the lives on TikTok, they can pay you through that. Starting to do it on there, so it's kind of cool. But TikTok, like at EmpireJeffTV on TikTok, at EmpireJeffTV on IG, at EmpireJeff_ on Twitter X, obviously at EmpireJeffTV here on YouTube, and EmpireJeffTV on Facebook. Is it a group or connected page? I always forget to promote my Facebook. I'm never really on it, but it's different crowds in all these platforms. It's totally different in each space, which is kind of cool. But I'm doing fairly well of late on TikTok and IG. It's starting to grow over there, just volume. And you know, I had like a 15K video the other day, you know, 10K video today, like things. Those platforms I'm starting to hit over there. So I'm trying to doing these little one hitters, and when I don't have time to do shows, I'm still trying to put out content, and they're quick and easy, you know. Zion too focused on Wingstop. Shout out to Rick Ross, huh? Zion gonna be a Fox Sports analyst pretty soon. He gonna love that cafeteria, huh? Sports just got me crazy. Let's see, AJ's Wacky World. Out of all the Dodgers channels, you're becoming my #1. Thanks for all you do, Jeff. Keep it up. Hey, thank you. Thank you. You know what? Like, I got a real passion for this thing. A lot of people got to know me because of basketball in these YouTube streets. But baseball is my first love. I almost did a baseball channel first. I didn't. Went into basketball, just dove in. But in my heart of hearts, I always wanted to be like someone that covers baseball heavily. That was my first dream. And, you know, now to do this, I really have a passion for baseball as much as I did for basketball. It's just baseball, whereas basketball is kind of turning me off a little bit. Baseball is that new thing, man. She baseball, that new shorty that I guess if you're gonna flick it to a saying, you're gonna be like, ain't no sport like a new sport, huh? You know the other saying. But what I'm saying is that it's not a new sport. But to me, it's just like a new energy, and it's a new kind of like, I don't really know what the word is, but I have so much joy doing it. And I didn't have a lot of joy doing basketball the last year. Like I said, I enjoy what I built in that space. I enjoy the collaborations I've had, but I haven't even been on another person's basketball show to talk basketball. I think like once in the last 6 months. I just haven't pulled up on anyone's shows. I get invited. I just haven't felt like it, you know. And vice versa, I haven't really invited anyone to mine because I just haven't felt like it. And baseball, I'm locked in. I'm ready. Like, we're sitting here and we're like less than a month from pitchers and catchers reporting the new season's on the horizon, and I'm still up here doing this like we're in the middle of the World Series, or the season is still going. The energy in me for baseball is so real, and it's so present. And you know what? I can't even lie too. Part of it also is because my dad being, you know, home more now, and being able, living, you know, pretty close to me, like a mile or so away. and being able to watch these games with my pops, talk to the game with my pops. My pops listens to the show. Love you, Pop. You're probably listening. Mom, love you too. But it's just that being able to experience that with my family. They were big Laker, they're big on the Lakers, but my parents haven't been able, just like some of you guys said in the chat, my mom hasn't been able to watch the Lakers since Kobe. She watched the 2020 championship with me, obviously COVID, and she watched it for me, but she hasn't really been able to be locked in on the Lakers since Kobe left. So baseball is kind of is like a driving force in my family. We're a baseball family. So that has a lot to do with it too. And for those of you guys who have watched this show long enough, you know my kind of inspiration. You've heard me talk about my grandpa a ton, and you know my backstory from that. So it kind of all ties in. Baseball was eventually always going to be the full circle, and I may never go back to what I was doing in basketball. It may just be baseball with some basketball. I don't know. But that's kind of the excitement part of it. I don't know, and we'll see where it goes. But I appreciate the compliments greatly, more than you know. Jeannie sell to Guggenheim. Does Freeman know anything about basketball? He probably would. One of my friends got food poisoning from Wingstop. No go for me. Oh man, that's terrible. I love Wingstop, but I never got sick by them. But man, I know what that's like. Once you get poisoned by something, Why the Lakers, please God. How things change. I remember I came across your channel and you would always talk about the Lakers. Now it's all Dodgers. Yeah, it's weird sometimes how you don't always pick it. Sometimes it picks you, as weird as it says, because once I started doing it kind of loosely, I was doing videos here or there, I got this new crowd, and then I really wanted to bridge my basketball crowd with my baseball crowd, and I wanted to teach my basketball crowd baseball and vice versa. And I felt like we did kind of build something with that. I had a bunch of people who never watched baseball part of the streams, and they were engaged and they were watching baseball games with me, and it was cool. It was fun. And like I said, maybe I end up back heavily in basketball leading up towards the playoffs. Maybe I don't know, but I'm one of those guys, man. The energy is going to take me where it takes me. Like I don't do stuff just to do it. I gotta love doing it. And maybe it'll come back. But you're right. It's crazy. I was all in on basketball in the Lakers, all in, and just something happened. Even if the Guggenheim bought the Lakers, NBA has a salary cap, and the Lakers are just below the second apron. What would that change? Well, they would probably scrap the team and start over. They'd probably build the team in their liking. So probably it would probably definitely be something that they would do and start from scratch. I'm not really into basketball, but do you think LeBron's son has a chance of being a permanent player in the Laker lineup? Not for the foreseeable future, no. But they didn't get him for that. They got him for money, over $50 million in jersey sales. That's what they got him for. Exactly what they got him for. If Bronny James ever becoming anything in the NBA, well, I'll put my life savings on red. Low key, the villain era of Dodgers baseball is about to go hard. Yeah, man. Dun, 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 dun. Facts. And to keep it 100, ever since I found your channel, I've never looked back. I love talking sports. I really respect your knowledge. I'm sure I speak for a lot of people. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you. And you know the best part about that, Lakers Dodgers for life? What I love about that, me and you have not always seen eye to eye. We make fun of each other all the time, right? like we'll talk trash back and forth, but I love how we can talk trash and it's respectful, right? And that's what I love. Like there's no, cook this dude or do that. Nah, man, it's just sports. I love talking sports. And I don't dislike someone because their opinion is different than me. Like it actually intrigues me more. I'm like, why do they see that? Why can't I see it the way they see it? That's how I try to see it. I'm like, convince me, sell me on this. And like, often they can't, or sometimes they can't, or vice versa. But I appreciate you. And because like I said, like we've been on the other sides of the fence on many things, been on the same side of the fence for many things. That's what makes it great. It makes it fun, And I appreciate you saying that because you've been one of my loyal guys from for a while now. You've been one of the people who holds it down for a while now. On Twitter, here, IG, like you support me at every level. And I appreciate you. And I follow you on there. I don't follow a lot of people on my IG. I follow you over there. You know what I mean? So it's like for me, I appreciate those who have held it down with me and was along with me for the journey of all this, no matter what I pull up and start talking about, right? LA for Life says, I love your backstories, man. Learning more about you. For real. Thank you for this channel. Keep it up, Jeff. Love your channel a lot. Thank you, LA for Life. This is what it's about. You know, this is exactly what it's about. It's building a community and people you can talk basketball, baseball. And sometimes we go off track a little bit. You know, we talk about food, we talk about music, we talk about movies, but that's usually well onto the show, right? That's after we've been going for a while, and you know, we kind of touched on all the topics, and now it's like, okay, what are we gonna talk about now? And we stream will go an extra 15-20 minutes, and you know, we'll talk about stuff like we're doing right now, right? So that's why I love doing this. That's why I love doing this. And as much fun as I'm having with the TikTok and IG posts or the YouTube shorts, I can't get this with that. I'm always going to love this. I'm always going to love the chats. And I wish there was a way that you can, you know, give out memberships for free to people. So then, you know, if in the event that the channel does continue to grow, that I could still just have like, you know, like member only chats for day one people, right? And be able to see all of their chats. I wish YouTube would allow that, like for you to choose who doesn't have to pay to be a member. That would be dope. Dodgers, what's going on? Rika, Dodgers weakness, believe it or not, is their defense a couple of regular like Muncy and probably left field? I'm not familiar with Conforto. Conforto's all right. And Muncy, man, he had some great moments at third last year, for real. But the defense, I think the defense will be all right. They got so many platoon guys and guys they can throw out there in the event, especially in late innings. He brought a chip to LA for us fans. Yep. Let's see. What? Yeah, man, 170 people on Twitter right now. That's incredible. That's incredible. Twitter is a baseball, covering baseball on Twitter just took like my Twitter streams to a whole different level. It's been cool. It's been great. So but on that note, I'm going on a little over 2 hours here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. You know I love that. Make sure to drop a like on your way out if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. If you are watching the replay, let me know what you think in the comment section. And just thank you guys. Thank you guys for the compliments. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the conversations. Most importantly, thank you for your time. Search, you are the best in the business. I love you, brother. Thank you. And I will catch you guys on the next one. And again, you guys humble me every stream, man. You guys really do. Thank you for continuing to show up and listen to me talk and to see my big old head on this screen. So appreciate you guys. I will probably catch you guys sometime tomorrow, hopefully. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your Thursday. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go Lakers. I'm out of here. Peace.